How do courts interpret statutory law? Imagine a courtroom where judges are like detectives unraveling the true meaning behind a law. Their task is to interpret statutes, written laws enacted by legislative bodies, and apply them accurately to real-life situations. Understanding how courts approach this process reveals the careful balance between the letter of the law and the intent behind it. When courts interpret statutory law, they start by examining the language used in the statute itself. The words are scrutinized to determine their plain and ordinary meaning. If the language is clear and unambiguous, courts generally apply the law as it is written, respecting the principle of textualism. This approach emphasizes that the words of the statute are the primary source of its meaning. However, legal language can sometimes be complex or vague. In such cases, courts turn to the legislative history, which includes documents like committee reports, debates, and earlier drafts of the law. These materials help judges understand the context and purpose behind the legislation. By considering legislative intent, courts aim to interpret statutes in a way that aligns with what lawmakers intended when they passed the law. Courts also look at the broader legal framework, including related statutes and constitutional provisions, to ensure consistency and coherence within the legal system. When conflicts arise between different laws, courts may use principles such as statutory harmony or the doctrine of implied repeals to resolve discrepancies. In addition to textual and contextual analysis, courts sometimes employ interpretive canons, rules of thumb that guide their understanding of ambiguous language. For example, the rule that statutes should be read to avoid absurd results encourages judges to interpret laws in a way that makes practical sense. In cases where ambiguity persists, courts may resort to examining the purpose of the law, which involves understanding the social or economic goals the legislation seeks to achieve. This purposive approach ensures that the law serves its intended function effectively. Ultimately, courts interpret statutory law by combining literal reading, legislative history, legal principles, and purpose. This multifaceted process ensures that laws are applied fairly, consistently, and in accordance with the intentions of the lawmakers who created them.